So let's start. 5 underrated stars in Texas high school football you need to be paying attention to. Number one,
I'm excited.
This is not a surprise to anybody who's heard me talk. It's Q Wadley, the running back
he's pretty good.
at Kennedale. And Quadras, I don't know how to pronounce his name, which is why I'm so thankful to him that he shortened it to Q. He is a stud. He is, and he can do anything you want. He's already up to 2,100 yards on the year. He's carried the ball 182 times. He's averaging almost 12 yards a carry on 182 carries.
And here's the thing, watching the film of him today, and we're rolling some of it now, he's so big for a running back at that level. He's just size. You understand immediately why it's tough for kids at that level to bring him down.
But here's the other thing about him, is that for a guy his size and he's listed at...
he can break away.
Yeah, I mean, he's got that speed.
Yeah.
He is a monster out there. That guy is something else. I've been really impressed watching him run. And you're exactly right. You rarely see that blend of size on that level, at 4A level, and then just when he gets in space, it's over.
He breaks away.
It's over. And he's a big reason why Cannondale's 9-0. He's got 39 touchdowns on the year.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know that.
Is that good?
He's got 39 touchdowns. He's topped 100 yards in every game he's played this year.
It's so good.
He's really, really good. Pay attention to Q Wadley. And I don't know what his scholarship offer situation is, but
I didn't have time to look it up.
Do
but
that.
We'll
that
see.
because you want to talk about another. He wasn't as big as Q Wadley, but you remember a little guy named Larry Rose at Fairfield? Yeah. Wherefore art there, Larry Rose? Yeah. He made it on SportsCenter the other night.
Did he really?
Yeah, he did. They were
doing
old Scott Van Pelt was doing his bad beats, and they were talking about the New Mexico State comeback win over Idaho, and old Larry, two touchdown runs in the highlights. So that dude, oh man. So, but Q Wadley's that guy.
You and I haven't watched that championship game this week yet. So,
we should.
It's weekly viewing for you and I.
We should just get together, and just sit back and watch. Okay, moving on. Quarterback's a dime a dozen, right? And when I talk about great players on bad teams, and all due respect to our friends at Groveton, but Glenn Thornton at Groveton certainly applies. Okay, 3,300 yards passing, 3,345 actually. He's averaging 371 yards per game passing. And they've turned to him a lot. I mean, he's averaging, more than 30 throws a game, and he is putting up crazy numbers.
He slings it, man.
He does. And the thing is, you say, oh, well, he throws the ball a lot. That's why he's getting all these numbers. He's also completing it nearly 65%. Just a junior, 6'2", little wiry. He's 160 pounds. But that's not out of line for a guy who plays at the level that he does.
Right.
This guy is fun to watch. He's also run for 8 touchdowns on the year. I mean, he really does. He can sling it.
Yeah.
And he's got that strong arm. He can make any throw you need. I've been really impressed watching him. His team, Groveton's not having a great year. They're 2-7. They're on the playoff bubble right now. But it is by no means his fault. Groveton, let's see. I want to look at this. How many points per game is Groveton giving up? Because I promise you it's not great. So they are, let's see, as I do a little bit quick math. Yeah, so they're averaging more than 30 points a game. They're averaging 35 points a game, right?
Yeah.
They're doing their part. Problem is, they're giving up 40.
Yeah.
So that's, he's an example of a great player, a great quarterback on a kind of a struggling team. But let me tell you, Groveton, they're going to be dangerous next year. Okay.
Yeah, just watching the highlights. You sit there and you go, man, this is a team I wish I saw in person just to watch the ball get
next year. They've got Thornton back, and they've got 2,000-yard receivers back, Saul Chavez and Dawson Chumley. Mm-hmm. Watch out for Groveton next year. If they can find any defense, and they've been a very young defense this year, if they can find any defense, watch out for them because of their quarterback, Glenn Thornton. Moving on, let's go down to the Houston area.
Okay.
New Caney having a nice year.
Yeah.
7-3. They finished their year. They've already, they've already clinched a playoff spot.
Push Crosby to the brink.
They certainly did.
Big feather in the hat there.
They've already clinched their playoff spot. They're done for the year. And one of the big reasons they're going to the playoffs is their big-time wide receiver, David Harvey. And he is just a home run hitter.
Yeah.
He is a home run hitter. And
we pulled up his highlights earlier, and it's literally just bomb after bomb after bomb.
So get this. So he's got 60 catches on the year for almost 1,200 yards. He's averaging...
What's the average there? I'm super curious.
He's averaging almost 20 yards a catch. 19.7 yards per catch. And the thing is, and so he's got 17 touchdowns on the year. The thing is, there's another guy, Andrew Segovia. Okay? Andrew Segovia has had a nice year as well. He's got 53 catches, only 7 fewer catches, but he's been the underneath guy. He's been the guy, he's only averaging 12 yards a catch.
Yeah.
I mean, David Harvey is a home run hitter.
And doing it at this level and playing some defense, too.
Sure.
That's the other thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, David Harvey's got an interception on the year. He's playing defensive back. He's playing both ways. This is a
bomb after bomb in these highlights.
I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like when you go look at when you watched Mike Evans when he was at A&M, that it would just be like, go deep, I'll find it. Or KD Cannon. Like KD Cannon, anytime Baylor wants, they can say, hey, KD, go.
Right.
And that's what happened with David Harvey. They'd say,
it's
go.
Amazing.
And and Timothy Ware, Timmy Ware, maybe you're familiar with the last name.
Maybe.
He's found him more often than not, and this new Caney team, when they get to the playoffs, they're going to be dangerous. And it looks like in the first round, they're going to draw Nederland, and that's an interesting clash because you've got a running game against a passing game.
That'd be a fun one.
That will be fun. Moving on, let's mosey on down south.
Okay.
Sophomore linebackers may not catch your eye, right? But Roger Adame III at Mercedes is the numbers that he has put up this year are silly. Okay, 21 sacks, 21 sacks in 9 games. He has been a wrecking machine for Mercedes. And Mercedes is another example of a squad that, they rely so much on that defense. The offense has been fine, but the defense has been what's gotten them to where they are. And Adame, just a sophomore, has been ludicrously good. He's got 117 tackles on the year, 11 tackles for loss, and 21 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, looking at his highlights again, reckless abandon off the edge.
Yeah.
I mean, goes and gets the quarterback, goes flying in there.
It's like nobody ever taught him where the brakes were.
No.
No. There's that's the
Like
gas pedal, and I got to go do something, but we'll finish this later.
Every tackle is him leaping through the air, making the most athletic tackle ever.
Yeah. I mean, he's everywhere. He's everywhere, and he's got that speed. And you want to talk about a young star down there south for the Tigers. I mean, just a sophomore. They got 2 more years of him, and he's I don't want to assume, but the Mercedes coach's name is Roger Adame.
Yeah, and he's the third.
Right.
By the
so
way.
I don't
linebacker,
I don't want to assume here, but Roger Adame III is playing for Roger Adame Jr. So who knows? But he is a very, very special player out there.
Very much.
And let's finish out west.
Okay.
Mosey out to the South Plains. Lubbock Coronado has had a tough year. 3-7. They go winless in district, but is by no fault of the junior linebacker Mason Montoya. Another huge year for him. He averaged almost 11 tackles a game, 216 tackles on the year. He has been everywhere, and he started as a junior or as a sophomore last year, and got some playing time then, and he's really blossomed in this junior season. You talk about a guy who's going to come back and be there for another year. Coronado, obviously not the year they had hoped for, but they've got a guy they can build a defense around next year.
Yeah,
and the problem with Coronado this year was that the defense just couldn't come up with the stops when they needed them. That said, this is a guy who obviously has all the talent in the world and can fly to the football. He's got good measurables. You know, already as a junior, 6'2", 200. You know he's probably going to put on 10, 15 pounds in the offseason. And the thing that I think that goes underreported about high school kids,
yeah,
a lot of them still hit growth spurts.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So if he were to hit, if he were to all of a sudden show up next year and he's 6'3", 220, I'd believe it. You know, I mean he's everywhere on the field for.
Yeah, he's a patient tackler too. You're watching the videos of him, able to shed blocks without too much issue. Mm-hmm. Pretty impressive.
He is. He's an impressive guy, and as we mentioned, he's a swarmer. He's a guy who swarms to the ball.
For sure.
He's always finding himself around the ball, and that's the kind of guys that you want on your team, on your defense. If you can just have that swarming defense, you'll be set.
All right.
So those are our
cool
5.
Segment. I like that.
Who did we miss? We'll do this again.
Maybe we want to hear who your
maybe 5 guys,
players are.
5 guys we're not paying attention to.
Would love to spotlight them, get their highlights up.
Tweet us at DCTF, and of course like us on Facebook.
We're gonna need the numbers to back it up, though.
Yeah,
we're not just handing out free underrated awards.
Yeah,
here.
we're not.
We're gonna need some legit.
Yeah, these are guys
legit talent
who can bring it.